If we now open our main index.php, you can see we require once autoload file. Let's convert this autoload to config, because our autoloader is no longer going to be in a single file like this. It's going to be inside of the class, and we can also remove this autoload.php file from inside of the inc folder. We can now close the folder, go to our classes and create a new file, call it autoloader.php. Now if we open the file, we start with the PHP tag class definition for autoloader, a few new lines, and then public static function load, and we pass in the parameter which is a class name. We start with a class equals string replace, and we're going to be replacing backslashes. This is for the compatibility with the namespacing. And namespacing was first introduced in PHP in version 5.3. We will at some point talk about the namespaces, but not yet. For the time being, let's just prepare the autoloader so that it's basically capable of handling them. DS, directory separator. Obviously, we want to replace all these backslashes with directory separator, but there might be classes, namespaces, which start with the backslash. Something like this, let's say, I don't know, DOM document or something like this. If it starts like this, then obviously we need to remove the first this one in order to any following obviously backslashes being converted to the relevant directory separator. So first we need to remove this one, obviously, to make sure that obviously this one isn't converted. Let's say if we were on any let's say Linux, then obviously it's not converted onto the /. So what we need to do here is obviously ltrim function. We want to trim the character from a left-hand side of the string we're passing through. We pass in the class name, and we want to specify what character we want to trim, and we want to trim the backslash. Now, one thing why I'm putting two slashes, because obviously if I put one, then I'm escaping this single quote. So obviously we're still replacing just one, but we need to put two in order, obviously, to one escaping the other. And then semicolon after this, I'm going to copy the entire line. So this one is covering namespacing, and this following one is going to cover the underscores, which all the way of dealing with class naming. So we've got the class name now nearly ready, because we also need to concatenate this with .php, because we want to obviously create the name path with the name of the file. And now require once, and we go for the classes path, the constant which you've created in the previous video, and then the name of the file class, with obviously any additional path elements. Let's put the and symbol at the beginning to make sure obviously we don't get any errors if the file does not exist. So we can now save the file. If we preview our page, refresh it, you can see it still works exactly the same way as it was working. It's now only using obviously newer way of autoloading the classes.